What's good, y'all? It's time for another video, and in this one I'll be giving you 3 teams to beat Gear Dungeon 1 Stage 10. So, you'll be getting a team that doesn't include Elowyn, a team that doesn't include Valkyra, and a team that doesn't include any anti-heal at all. So yeah, let's have a look at this first team and then get straight into it. So for the first team, you can use either Karmet or Vjörna. You need tank wise, you can use Baron. You could also obviously use the Cyrus to make this shit way easier. Then we have Hollow, which is pretty mandatory, Laurel, very mandatory, and you can use an anti-heal unit for Artemis. The problem with that is, though, you then might struggle with survivability, but if you give enough tank gear or focus enough on healing, you should still be able to make it without Artemis. Artemis just makes it easier because he provides healing. Then we have Isolde. Isolde can be replaced by King Horus. You could replace Brock here with Oleg. Vortex is Vortex. You can replace Vortex with Gwendolyn. Valkyra is Valkyra, and Dolores is Dolores. So yeah, let's get straight into the stage gearing at the end. Alright, so first off Karmet, next up Isolde, and then next step is Hollow. As soon as Isolde's ultimate is ready, we'll be going to use hers, because getting hit by the boss and the archers is pretty much, in most cases, too much for little Isolde, so we rather just make her a bit stronger so she can actually hold out. Right here, the boss will start something called the Crimson Moon, which is obviously that AoE explosion. Happens, we bring in Dolores, we bring in a secondary tank, and we continue. Right here, enemies come in close, we activate Artemis, activate Karmet, follow it up with Hollow, and then we can fast forward time, and the only thing you need to do is activate your tank's ultimates to ensure that nobody dies. Crimson Moon happens, we don't do a whole bunch of nothing, we wait for 29 cost. There we go, 29 cost, we can place in Valkyra, and we place in Laurel. Here we fast forward, or you don't have to obviously, but as soon as the enemies come out, which is right now, you can activate her ultimate, let her get boosted by Laurel. As soon as both ultimates are orange, you take Laurel out, you bring in Vortex, you take out Isolde, and you then at the end finish it off with Baron. So right here, enemies come in and Baron. There we go. As soon as possible, you activate Hollow, you use all ultimates again as necessary to keep your people alive. So like, for example, right here. And here we activate Artemis, and then follow it up with Karmet. Once more, just activating our tank ultimates to ensure that everyone stays alive. And this is the beauty of it. We basically have Valkyra hitting targets, getting hit by targets, and that is what simulates that extra rage regen at the top, especially combined with the rage regen we do get from despawning Laurel. So what we want to do here is, you pay attention to Valkyra, right? Valkyra, if Valkyra gets put on low HP, she obviously gets overhealed by Vortex, and you also have the faction bonus shield, and those will work together to give you that extra shield you need to get the 6 range once more. Here we just fast forward time again, we can pull Baron already, use Hollow's ultimate, and yeah, bring in Laurel, take out Laurel, and then bring in Isolde. Alright, enemies come in close. We activate Isolde, activate Artemis, Brock here, and Karmet. So right here we once more pay attention, and you see she has a shield, we give her an even bigger shield, activate the ultimate, activate Dolores, don't forget about Hollow. And there we go. Here we can pull Isolde, let Valkyra do her thing there. Enemies again coming close. And right here we can pull Vortex, placed on Laurel, and then take out both of those. Right here, obviously we use ultimates to ensure that everyone stays alive. Activate Artemis rather early here because of these annoying archers. And then go with Comet. One thing we could have done is activating Hollow's ultimate a tad bit earlier. There was a phase right here where we didn't activate her ultimate, so that would have been a way to make it not nearly as close as it actually turned out to be. But yeah, obviously with that last wave you might not end up killing everyone, though that is at the end of the day totally fine, because we were basically banking on it not working. And for that we then have basically Vortex ready here, plus Hollow, and the only mission of these guys is to just hold out, right? They just have to ensure that Isolde holds out. We can bring in Valkyra again, continue to activate the ultimates, slaughter these units at the bottom there. And as soon as they are dead, we can then reform our squad. There we go. It's just a safer variant. You could also try to keep the units on the field, but yeah. So basically what I mean with that is you could also just keep Vortex, Valkyra and Dolores on the field, and if you play it properly it will work, but it's just safer to hold the enemies at the bottom right there. Especially with the auto run having less of a chance to get messed up. But as you can see it does take longer, doesn't it? So yeah, right here you just bring in your anti-heal unit, your damaging unit, just ensure that nobody dies, give some extra rage regen, and then it's go time. And there you go, this is team number 1, let's continue on to gearing. Alright, now onto Hollow. So Hollow has high rage regen, high attack speed, and the rest is pretty unimportant. She even has some extra HP somewhere here, I guess. But yeah, just high rage regen, high attack speed. And this golden scarab once more isn't necessarily as needed, but she's the one that gets the most use out of it. Then we have Comet. Now Comet has just a single important part, and that is, as you can see, he has 20% rage regen. So you need a single roll of rage regen substat. And that's just if you want to use Comet. If you don't, then just use a Viana. So right here we have around 300, let's have a look at that. Around 280% attack, 200 attack speed, 100% crit rate, 150% crit damage with a 25 tier Twilight. Isolde, honestly it depends on what you have, what you can make happen. But right here we have around 280% HP, 100% defense, and then some extra rage regen, as well as the Bastioning at 25. You really have to manage your tank resources to ensure that like your weakest tank still is able to survive. Valkyra we have around 220% attack, 200 attack speed, 100% crit rate, 220% crit damage with the 25 ramp tier as an artifact. Vortex is actually missing a piece of gear, which is interesting, but yeah, the way you build him is just going to be around, it's going to be around 300% HP, around 300 attack speed, some extra added stats, but he truly doesn't do all that much here, besides ensuring that everyone survives. Brock here, honestly, kind of same scenario. Again, once more, like 280% HP, 100% defense, 200% attack speed, some extra rage region. Fuck. But those are over the top stats, and you really just, at the end of the day, have to make sure they survive. Another Bastion could obviously be lower. Same goes for Baron. Baron absolutely doesn't need it to be a Guardian set. You just want with him again with closer to 300% HP, 100% defense, some extra rage region if you can manage it. But overall, he definitely needs less because he has this invulnerability window. So yeah, this has been gearing onto the next. Alright, so here we go. Second team, let's go over the units. So you need a Curse Lord unless you have like Vierna's artifact or overall a super strong Vierna. We have Vierna, then we have Artemis. Artemis once more required. This Iona could be any other AoE mage. Dolores being Dolores. Isolde could be swapped for a King Horus, or overall these. You basically need 3 tanks and all of them just need to be able to take some punches. So for example, you could also be putting in like a Garn instead of Isolde. Brock here being Brock here. Brock is just a good tank. Karmet is mostly required because honestly there's only, at least for the end game, 2 truly viable AoE champions being Vierna and Karmet. And then we have Baron and lastly Elowyn. So let's get straight into the fight. I'm gonna move myself over so I don't hide anything important. And yeah, let's get this going. Alright, so here we go straight into the stage. We'll be opening it up with Karmet, following it up with Baron, and then finishing off this bottom formation with Artemis. There we go. Alright, so enemies come in close, we just let them hit. The important part is this second marksman right here. So you watch him, and as soon as he crosses half of the tile, which is right now, that is when you actually are going to be placing down your Elowyn. And just use Baron's ultimate so that you can make sure that his invulnerability doesn't get triggered, because we're going to need it later down the line. Alright, next step right here is going to be to place down Dolores. Once more, activate Baron's ultimate to tank. Place in Vierna. Use ultimates. Alright, yes, so here we go straight into the stage. We'll be starting it off with Karmet, following it up with Brock here actually. Fast forwarding time. As soon as we hit 18 cost, we placed on Artemis. And then the next step is going to be to watch the second marksman right here, this guy. We'll be waiting up until he crosses this half of this tile. There you go. So we can place on Elowyn and Dolores. Right here you obviously use ultimates as you see fit to ensure that your units survive. And yeah, next step is gonna be placing down your second tank. Enemies come in close. You're going to be activating Artemis and Karmet to take care of the enemies, pretty straightforward. And then just using your ultimates to ensure that your tanks don't die on you. So here we go. Next step is going to be placing down Vierna. And here we can pretty much just fast forward time once more. At 17 we bring in Iona, or whatever, how much cost your secondary AoE mage costs. And the whole reason is because we want to weaken these guys so that we'll be able to execute them all and make life on Vierna easier. Right, so right here for the bottom, once more, as soon as it looks critically, you can use your ultimates. And right here, around half of the ultimate charge bar, that is when you want to trigger your Dolores to empower your Vierna. And here, as soon as these archers cross into that tile, so before they actually take aim at Elowyn, you want to bring in your tank. Pay attention to the bottom because you're going to want to use both ultimates. Use Baron, and then right here is gonna be a bit delicate because we'll be waiting for this guy to basically be one step away from stepping into Viana's range, which is pretty much about now. So we trigger Viana's ultimate. There you go. And one guy should get a shot off. Okay, not even, which is even better. And yeah, here we can just continue on. So, as you might have seen, we've lost our invulnerability on Baron. So we do have to use the Wood Elf next time to make sure that that doesn't happen again. Once more, we wait for around half the charge on the enemies down there, up there. Let them obviously get closer. And then as soon as they do enter Viana's range, we'll be just using her execute right away. So enemies are there, everyone is visible. And there we go. Execute and job done. So, Crimson Moon enemies come to the bottom. We do want to use our ultimates as soon as possible. So right here we already go with Artemis and Karmet. Reason for that is just to ensure that Baron doesn't need to actually use his stance, right? So right here we already bring in a Wood Elf preemptively, just to ensure that that doesn't happen, because we're going to get another one regardless. We sell the Wood Elf, and here we again cross around half. Perfect. Let Viana do her thing. We can activate Isolde's ultimate. And here, what we want to do is we want to hit the first archer. That's the only guy we really care about. So as soon as the first archer is close enough, which is right here, we can trigger Viana's ultimate. We can obviously use Oleg and Baron. And right here we'll be activating Elowyn's ultimate. Alright, so now we just pay attention to the bottom lane. Right here. If it does look like Baron is struggling, like for example right here, we'll be activating the Wood Elf, triggering his ultimate, using Artemis, Karmet, and yeah, here we once more wait for around half to trigger Viana's ult. Brock here did turn invulnerability onto his invulnerability, but that's totally fine. And there we go, we take care of the bottom lane, so we can just despawn these guys. And even though Elowyn died, it truly doesn't matter. Before these guys hit and actually regenerate some extra, we use Viana's ult. There we go. Job done, stage done, let's get to gearing. Alright, gearing time, here we go. Abisu doesn't play any Roshi, could be any Curse Lord. Viana, so Viana, what do we have? Viana, we have around 250% attack, 200 attack speed, 100% crit rate, 220% crit damage. You could really don't give a fuck about the attack speed because it doesn't matter. This attack speed could be 0 and you might even have some extra rage regen or crit damage or whatever. So attack speed doesn't work on Viana. Artifact wise we have a tier Twilight. Now we get to Artemis. Artemis is in around 260-270% attack, 300 attack speed, 100% crit rate, 130% crit damage, and a Golden Scarab. Golden Scarab doesn't need to be there. Could be another artifact, like for example Keen Wisdom. Alright, Iona. Iona has around 220% attack, 200 attack speed, 100% crit rate, 190% crit damage, and a Heaven's Rage. But the important part is she really just needs to do minimal damage. Dolores, high attack, 40% rage regen, Golden Scarab could be a Keen Wisdom again once more. Isolde has way too overqualified gear, she could be broken gear, whatever, just high HP, high defense, and Bastion Ring at any level really, because the enemies don't ever truly get to her anyway. You might even, if you play it perfectly, be able to get away without a Bastion Ring. Alright, Brockier. Now, Brockier has around 270% HP, 100% defense, some extra attack speed and some rage regen, as well as a 25 Bastion, but it all depends on if you can make your tank survive towards the end. Here we have Karmet. Karmet has some extra splattering of rage regen, but he doesn't need it. Stat wise we have around 280% attack, 200 attack speed, 100% crit rate, 150% crit damage, and a Tear of Twilight. Baron, obviously if you had a Cyrus, you would probably go with the Cyrus to make Karmet even more broken. But Baron has around 280% HP, 100% defense, some extra attack speed, some rage regen, and once more Bastion Ring. It all depends on how you manage your units. And now Elowyn is the important part. So for Elowyn you want a lot of HP, but I probably went with a bit too much. So what you can do is go with an attack set effect on the left side, but for now we just have full HP here, full HP with attack speed here, HP with attack speed, HP with attack speed, and HP with attack speed. Artifact wise Golden Scarab, but even that truly doesn't matter. On to the next fight. Alright, yeah, so on to this very last team that doesn't include any anti-heal. What you're going to need here is preferably a Lord for Viana, Greed at A5, his A5 is very important, an Elowyn, a Constance, 2 tanks, healer, preferably shield giving healer, just makes the interactions with Valkyra easier, and then a Dolores. So yeah, this is the team, and yeah, let's get straight into it. Alright guys, so here we go, straight into the stage, starting off with Viana, following it up with Isolde, fast forwarding time. Bringing in Constance at 18, paying attention to the marksman below me right here, especially the second one. And as soon as we cross this line right here, we use the execute and can continue fast forwarding time, placing in Elowyn. Right here we trigger Isolde's ultimate. Reason is twofold. We get a Sovereign Arcana stack from Viana, Sovereign Arcana stack from Isolde, but also we weaken these guys so that when we do actually place in Greed, Greed doesn't use his ultimate against them, but uses his ultimates against these guys. Here we can pull Isolde, bring in Dolores, and as soon as this guy basically reaches into this next tile, we activate Constance. Crimson Moon happens, you activate Elowyn. Crimson Moon gets triggered, you can bring in Valkyra. We let these guys get as close to the core as we're comfortable with. Execute right here. Everyone gets killed, perfect. And we bring in Vortex. So far so good. As soon as the enemies show their faces, so right about now, come on, we activate Valkyra's ultimate, let Dolores' ultimate go alongside that, fast forward time, and here activate Constance's ultimate. Alright, perfect. We let these guys again get close as close as possible. Activate Viana's ult. Kill all of them. And here's the beauty of it. We now are out of ultimate, have these guys to hit, but also to get hit by. And that is pretty much what we take advantage of without needing to use Valkyra's A1. Here we bring in a tank to take care of the archers. And here, as soon as possible, we trigger Vortex, trigger Valkyra to consume Vortex's given shield, activate Dolores, and as soon as the marksmen are dealt with, we take out our tank, fast forward time, and then once more, the important part is to ult with Valkyra as soon as possible. The earlier you ult with her, the more these guys are actually going to be able to stay alive, and we can take advantage of that to actually get some extra rage out of them. Right, perfect. So right here, once more, we activate constants, pay attention to the Crimson Moon, in this case Emperor, spank it, use Vortex's ultimate to give us the shield, use Valkyra, use Dolores, Crimson Moon happens, but we're fine, and here we execute. There we go. Here we can fast forward time. And as soon as these guys are dealt with, we'll actually be pulling Vortex. And yeah, perfect, there we go. So we can pull out Dolores, pull out Valkyra, activate Constance's ultimate right about now. Fianna's ult, let's see. Fianna's ult right here to execute all of them. Perfect. And now we can despawn Greed, despawn Valkyra, despawn Constance. Bring in Brock here, fast forward time. Alright, now this is going to get a bit funky, but that's what you have to do if you don't have like an A1 Valkyra or a Talent who's an ancient exclusive, so also not that attainable. Okay, we're actually going to change the plan a bit, because we want a bit more distance. Let's see if we can afford this. Let's try. So we place on Isolde, heal her up, place down Vortex, use her ultimate, and place down Dolores. Yeah, we should be alright in a sense. Place down Viana, Constance, Valkyra, and Greed. So now we want to time everything as best as we can, which means the constant is pretty useless there. But right here we start off with Dolores and Valkyra around the time Greed's ultimate happens. As soon as Greed's ultimate happens, we pull out our tank, hit these guys, and before they actually are able to reach Valkyra, we use Viana's ultimate for the execute. And there you go. Alright, this has been all 3 stages. If you did appreciate all the effort, feel free to consider leaving a like, subscribing, whatever. This has been it, and we see each other in the next one. Bye bye. Alright, now onto this last part, which is gearing for the last team. We have Bizu, which has absolutely nothing. Viana, who is wearing Sorbonne Arcana. Stat-wise, we have around 220% attack, 200 attack speed could be 0, because it doesn't matter for her, 100% crit rate, 220% crit damage, 25 TOT. Greed is actually, interestingly enough, running running a mana spring set. So for all of those that have the ability to get mana spring sets, keep them. Keep them and look for pieces that have Rage Regen as a substat, attack speed with Rage Regen as a substat, and then Rage Regen with attack speed as a substat. That's like the perfect pieces. And they might find some more use in the future even, because those are the best pieces when it comes to being able to ult multiple times. Here we then have attack speed with Rage Regen and some more attack speed with Rage Regen, artifact wise, Spellcaster's Echo, but could also be a Nightmare Samsara. Elowyn is full on just be good at healing gear, so what we have is around 180% attack, 300 attack speed, 100% healing effect and some extra Rage Regen, as well as a Golden Scarab, but the Rage Regen isn't as needed. Constance pretty simple, high attack, so in this case getting closer to around 400%, some extra attack speed in the case of 200, some Rage Regen above 40% and an Astral Obelisk, but that Astral Obelisk doesn't need to be as high. Then we have Isolde. Isolde pretty much straight up tank gear, so 300%, 300% HP, 100% defense, some extra Rage Regen and a Bastion Ring. Brock here, same thing, Guardian set, so high HP, 100% defense, some extra attack speed, some Rage Regen, Bastion Ring, but the stats don't need to be as good, you'll be able to manage. Vortex has 300% HP, 250 attack speed, extra Rage Regen, some healing effect and a Brightwood Ring. Valkyra closer to 300% attack, 200 attack speed, closer to 100% crit rate, 140 crit damage, as well as a ramp here. And lastly Dolores finishing it off with high attack, so 300 something plus percent, 40% Rage Regen, Golden Scarab, but could also be Keen Wisdom. So yeah, this has already been it, and we see each other in the next one.